low to mid 90s?
Yeah,
normally?
3 to 5.
Nice.
Yeah, 3 to 5.
So that's a nice change of speed right there.
Right, big time, 20 miles per hour.
What's going on, guys? Coach Matt and YouGoProBaseball here again with Craig Stem, and we're talking some more pitching. We're talking about 4 undeniable traits that every successful pitcher must have. This is gonna be a good one because we were talking about this off camera, really good information, so I want you guys to watch to the end of this video. But before we get into it, I wanna talk about something cool that Craig's got going on. He makes these really cool watch straps for Apple Watches, for Fitbits, whatever kind of watch you're wearing. Go check it out. I'll leave the link down below where you can go find out more information about those. Really cool stuff there. But let's get into it. The 4 undeniable pitching traits that every successful pitcher must have. What are they?
Right, yeah, we'll just roll right into it. Yeah, so in no particular order whatsoever. Number 1, velocity. 2, command. 3, change of speeds. 4, movement. And you just have to basically figure out what you are best at, which ones you're lacking. If you throw really hard and you're already above average for your age, of course it doesn't hurt to throw harder, but you have to be able to identify your strengths and weaknesses. So if you throw hard and you have a decent command, but you don't have a pitch that moves in the zone, that's a huge hole that you're leaving uncovered. And then the same goes for movement and changing speeds. If you don't have a great off-speed pitch that you can throw off of a fastball, obviously that makes it a whole lot easier on hitters, right?
Right. So what are you doing, like when a guy comes in to train with you, you're kind of talking with him about these 4 things. How do you approach that whole situation?
Right, so day 1, I'll come up and I'll say, hey, 4 aspects of pitching, you know, velocity, command, movement, change of speeds. Which one are you best at? Which one are you worst at? And I always get kind of this glossed over look like, I don't really know. It's like, well, you got to know yourself. You have to. Do you throw above average speed for your age? Can you hit a spot better than most kids your age? If you're average at all of them, I mean, that's all right. You're just an average pitcher, right?
Right.
If you're above average at one of them and average at the rest, I mean, I would say that makes you an above average pitcher. If you got 2 that you're really, really good at your age level, you're probably a really good pitcher. If you got 3, you're very, very good. If you got 4, you're the best pitcher in your whole area, right?
Right, and so obviously that's the goal. So what is the goal when those guys come in and you address that? They have this self-awareness. They might say, hey, I'm average in these 2, above average in this one, below average in this one. Then how do you approach that? Are you focusing more on the weak ones? Are you doubling down on more of the ones that they're good on? How does that work?
Yeah, so we'll just go with an example. If I got a kid that comes in, let's say he throws hard for his age. I'm a big velocity guy. I want to teach kids to throw hard for sure. If he throws hard for his age, it's not going to be a focus from day 1. We're going to continue to sprinkle stuff in. And let's say for example, he throws strikes still, just because those are the 2 biggest glaring issues in youth pitchers. But let's say somebody's got that. How do you improve from there without getting complacent? The other 2 are movement and change of speeds, right? So I believe that every single pitcher has got to have a pitch with movement that they can throw in the zone for a strike at any time. At any time. I'm talking, you fell behind 2-0, you don't have to serve up a 4-seam fastball that's going to get hit over the fence, right? It doesn't matter what that pitch is. Cutter, sinker, slider, curveball, I don't care if you throw a knuckleball. If you can throw it for a strike, cool. Movement in the zone. That's what we're looking for. If you don't have a pitch that moves a lot, and really when I'm talking about movement with these guys, I'm more so talking about a fastball that moves, because it's hard to throw a slider or a curveball for a strike consistently for a young pitcher. But movement in the zone, we're talking sinkers, cutters, sliders are good, right?
And for you, personally, you had a huge jump in success, let's say, when you implemented a sinker, right?
Exactly. So I pitched the first 6 years of my professional career, fastball and a slider for the first 3 years, and then I added in a splitter. So I had, if we talk about the four traits, I had velocity and I had below average command. But that's really all I had. I had no movement. I mean, I had a decent slider, but it wasn't great. Without a slider's a power pitch and a fastball's a power pitch, so that's very little change of speed, right? Very little. So what I ended up doing was, once I got these 4 traits in my mind, okay, I add a sinker now. There's my movement. I slowed down my splitter, turned it into more of a fork, right? So it slowed down a ton. Now I've gone from a 1, maybe 2 trait pitcher to 4 traits, right? And all of them apply. So when you add in the movement, it just makes you a much better pitcher because now you can try to get better at the command without being worried about falling behind. If you're trying to paint corners, you're trying to hit this corner right here. If you don't have a pitch that moves and you miss, it's 1-0. Now, instead of painting the corner, you got to go third. Let's say you miss low, 2-0. What are you going to do now?
Right.
You're going to throw a 4-seam right down the middle, and it's probably going to get hit, right?
Or if you miss on those first 2 pitches over the plate and it's flat.
Exactly, exactly. There's just so many bad things that can happen. But if you got a pitch that moves, for me, it's the sinker. I can try to paint the first pitch, and if I miss, it's not a big deal. If I paint it, oh, now we're in business. We're 0-1, and the hitter's like, oh my God, he's painting.
Right.
Right. But if I miss it, it's 1-0. Okay, I'm just going to throw a sinker right down the middle. Hopefully the guy grounds out. It happens a lot. Right. So and that's just for me personally. Once I realized those traits, my game took a whole jump to the next level.
When I was playing junior college baseball, our pitch, it's actually our head coach, but he was a pitching guy, came in with all the pitchers. He wrote LMV on the board, and I actually made a video about this. I'll link it down below in the card that pops up here. But he wrote LMV, location, movement, and velocity. His argument was that was the order, the priority that we wanted to focus on as a pitching staff that year, really focusing on commanding the baseball, then having that movement, and then velocity was it. Because, you know, everyone wants to throw gas. Like, you could ask pretty much any pitcher, if you go up to them, hey, do you want to pitch faster? 99% of them are going to say yes, no matter how fast, even if they are a fast pitcher already.
Yeah.
You know, so he kind of ranked the priority that way. Obviously, change of speed is another huge aspect to that. Tacking that on to LMV would be huge. What I learned when I was in the Padres organization too was they talked about disrupting timing and balance of the hitters. Can you talk about that, as how it relates to like changing speed, how you can use change of speed and movement and location and velocity to disrupt the batter's timing and balance?
Yeah, absolutely. So like you just said, if you can improve all 4 of these aspects, it makes changing speeds incredibly effective, right? If you learn to throw harder, then your change of speed can be greater, right? 80 to 60 is not a big deal, because a 60 mile per hour pitch for a high school kid is pretty slow. But if you're 90 to 70, that's a little bigger difference.
What was your splitter, by the way?
My splitter,
speed-wise?
is like 72 to 75.
So 99 to 75, that's a pretty big, 99 at his fastest ever, and 75, that's a big gap. Probably, what would you sit around? Low to mid 90s?
Yeah,
normally?
3 to 5.
Nice.
Yeah, 3 to 5.
So that's a nice change of speed right there.
Right, big time, 20 miles per hour on any given pitch, right? So if you've got that movement, for me it's a sinker. Running a sinker inside to a right-handed hitter at 94, 95 miles an hour forces him to get that foot down and get those hands going quick, because you got to get inside that baseball if you're going to keep it fair, and you got to know the position that you're putting that hitter in. Now, you get that hitter thinking, I got to get going early, and then all of a sudden you throw a pitch that's 75. I don't care. I mean, it's going to be tough.
Tough to hit.
It's going to be tough.
Tough to hit.
Like, it doesn't even have to move that much.
Right.
It's just a change of speeds, right? That's all.
I mean, that's great information. So if you're a pitcher now watching this, or a pitching coach watching this, you want to implement this with your pitchers, I think one of the big things is probably self-awareness from the athlete's standpoint. And if you're a coach trying to teach this to your players, maybe like helping them identify, like you do with the guys that come in and train, helping them identify the 4 aspects and where their strengths are and where their weaknesses are, and then kind of come up with a plan to attack that, because we're going to shoot more videos about these things. I've shot over 1,000 videos on all these different topics, but once you identify and you have that self-awareness and you identify within your pitchers what their strengths and weaknesses are, then you can really come up with a plan to attack those things. So, understand those 4 things and really come up with a plan to kind of help your play, because that's when your game changed, right?
You got to be honest with yourself. I looked in the mirror and I said, I'm not very good at a lot of the stuff that I need to be good at, right? And if you're honest with yourself and you can start to improve these little areas that you aren't good at, even if you're great at one, you throw 95, most people are going to say you're a pretty good pitcher, but I couldn't hit that spot 9 times out of 10, or my slider sucks half the time, or my pitches are flat. Like, that. Be honest with yourself.
Well, guys, that was some great information. Craig, thank you so much. If you guys want to get in touch with Craig, he's currently in the Asheville, North Carolina area, but he's still playing, still traveling, so he may be somewhere else by the time you're watching this video. But I'll leave his contact information down in the description, so check it out, hit him up. If you guys want to get some training, you want to pick his brain, talk to him, whatever it is, information is down in the description. Also, you could check out where he's got his watch straps, really cool stuff. Check it down in the description. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We're gonna make some more videos. One video I really want to dive into is how you throw that sinker.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.